So hello friends, so welcome to lecture series on nonlinear programming. In the last lecture we have seen that how can we solve a network problem to find the shortest path from node 1 to node 10 or node I to node j using dynamic programming approach. In that we have seen that basically we divide problem into sub problems, we find the solution in the table, and then whatever solution we obtain in the table we will use the solution in the next table till we got the last table to find out the optimal solution of that larger problem. Okay. Now we will see some more illustrations that how can we use dynamic programming to solve more optimization problems in discrete cases. So let us see more illustrations. So it is one dimensional allocation problem. Now what it is? Suppose 4 units of capital are can be invested in 3 plants. Plants are A, B and C. So we have 3 plants and units of capital available is 4 units of capital available. Okay. Now only an integer number of units can be allocated. Okay. That means units which can be allocated may be 0, maybe 1, 2 or 2, 3 or 4, but not be in fractions. The expected discounted return from each plant is given below. You see, if in plant A, there are 3 plants A, B and C. If in plant A the units allocated is 1 unit, so the net return is 1 unit only. If in plant A 2 units is allocated, so the return is 2 units. If in plant A 3 units of capital is invested, so the output is or the return is 4 units. Similarly, if in C suppose 4 units of capital, the entire money is to be invested in plant C only, then from this table 6 units of return to be obtained. Now the problem is how to find out that how much amount of money is to be invested in each plant so that the net output is maximum. We have 4 units of capital available, we have to invest the 4 units of capital in 3 different plants A, B and C such that the total output or total return is maximum. This is the problem. So how can we find it? So we have to find the best allocation, the second best allocation, the best allocation if only 3 units of capital is available, and the best allocation if plant B is excluded. So these are some of the problems which are can be solved using the same problem. So let us see how can we solve it. So we divide this problem into 3 stages: stage 3, stage 2 and stage 1. In stage 3 we basically deal with allocation to plant C only. Okay, this is our choice basically. This is our choice that which we can allocate to stage 3, which to stage 2 and which to stage 1. Here in this problem, since it is given to us that in the 4th part it is given to us the best allocation if plant B is excluded. So we will keep plant B in the last stage or stage 1, so that if plant B is excluded then we have to simply exclude the stage 1. The stage 2 will give the optimal solution. So that this is the only reason I keep stage B, I mean plant B in the last stage, in the stage 1. Okay. Now so stage 3 will allocate to plant C only, stage 2 means C and A, stage 1 means C, A and B. Okay. So we have 3 stages, basically we have 3 stages. First is stage 3, which is allocation to plant C only. This is stage 2, which means C and A, and this is stage 1, which means C, A and B. Okay. Now we defined stage variable j are 1, 2 and 3. Then state variable is kj. Kj means the amount available for stage j. Okay. Now xi is the allocation to plant I. X1 is allocated to plant B. Okay. This is plant B. Okay. X1, X2 is allocated to plant A, and X3 means allocation to plant C. So that means X3 is here to plant C. How much allocated to plant C? This is A, this is, that means X2, and this is X1 allocated to plant B. Okay. And what is Kj? Kj is available to this stage. Now in this X3, in this stage we have only variable X3, so that will be K3. In this stage, stage 2, in this stage, up to this stage we are calling it K2, the amount available up to stage 2. So that involves C and A. So K2 is nothing but X2 plus X3. Okay. Now stage 1 means the amount available up to stage 1, which involves B also. So that means K1 is X1 plus X2 plus X3. You see, X3 means the allocation to plant C only, X1 means allocation to plant A only, and X1 means allocation to plant B only. But K1 means, K3 means up to stage 3, K2 means up to stage 2, that is C and A. C and A collectively will K2. Okay. And K1 means up to stage 1, that is C, A and B. Okay. Now we define Gj Xj as return from plant J with allocation Xj. Okay. And Fj Xj is the return from stage J. So let us discuss this thing over here. So first we divide this into stages, which we are calling it stage J, stage 3. Okay. Now stage 3, if we are taking F3 K3, F3 K3 means Fj Kj means return from the stage. Okay, from stage 3, from stage 1, from stage 2, whatever we are getting the maximum, that will be Fj Kj. F3 Kg means return, obtained from stage 3. Now G3 X3 is the return which we obtain from stage 3, and the maximum of this, where of course K3 can't be more than X3 can't be more than K3, because K3 is the availability up to this stage and X3 is the allocation to plant C only. Okay, and that all must be non-negative also. Okay. So assuming this constraint, the whatever we are obtaining, the maximum of this will be the maximum output or the maximum return of this stage 3. Okay. Now how we will make the table of this? Okay. So how we will make it? Let us see here. We will first make, here it is K2 and X2. Okay. It may be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, return units available are 4 units. It may be 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4. Similarly, X3, sorry, it is X3. X3 may be 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4. Okay. Now if no output, no unit available, so of course the return will be 0. It is G3 K3, G3 X3, it will be 0 if no capital is available, so return will be 0. Now X3 can't be more than, always less than equal to K3, it is K3. Okay. X3 will always be less than equal to K3. So if K3 is 0 and X3 is 1, So, this entry is not possible because x3 must be less than or equals to k3. So, this entry is not possible. Similarly, this entry is not possible. Similarly, these 3 entries are not possible, and similarly these 3 entries are not possible. So, it will be lower triangular matrix type. Okay, okay, because x3 will always be less than or equals to k3. Now, if x3 is 1, so the return can be obtained from the table. You see, x3 is a location from plant C, and for plant C it is, if 1 unit of capital is available, so it is 3, return is 3 units, so it is 3, so it is 3. Okay. Now, if 2 units of capital are available for plant C, so it is 4, and again 4 and 6, so it is 4 4 4, then it is 4 4 and 6. So, what is F3K3? F3K3 is the maximum of all this, maximum of this is 0, and for which x3? This maximum obtaining at 0, so it is 0. Now, this maximum is obtaining at 3, at which x3? At 1, so we are calling it x3 bar. At which x3 we are this maximum is 4, at which x3? At 2. This is maximum is 4 at 2 and 3, this maximum is 6 at 4. So, this is the maximum return, return obtained from stage 3. Stage 3 means when all the money is to be allocated for plant C only. Now, we come to stage 2. Stage 2 means C and A. That means we have to find F2K2. F2K2 will be maximum of G2X2. You see, G2X2 is what? G2X2 is the return from the plant A. From the plant A, okay, return from the plant A, and plus whatever return we are obtaining from stage 3, that will give C and A. You see, in this stage up to this stage, 2 plants are available, C and A. The net output of these 2 plants will be the maximum return obtained from stage 2. Now, G2X2 is a return obtained, is a maximum return obtained, return obtained from stage A, plant A, sorry, okay. If we have a plant A, the return obtained from plant A obtaining from a different values of x2 will be G2X2, and plus whatever we obtain from stage 3, that will give C and A, that will give our return for stage 2. Okay. So, here we add F3K3, F3K3 whatever we obtain for stage 2. Now, you see, K3 is X3, up to this stage is K3, up to this stage is K2. Okay. So, K2 minus X2 will be the net available for stage 3. So, that will be K2 minus X2. You see, K2 is the amount available up to stage 2, okay, and X2 is the availability in this stage, for plant A. So, the difference will give the availability for stage 3. So, for stage 3. So, this to find out now. So, again we will make a next table based on this. This will be, you see, it is K2, it is X2, K2s are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, X2s are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Again for 0, the returns are 0, okay, and if it is 1 and it is A, it is 1. You can see here it is 1. If 2 units available, 2, if 3 then 4, if 4 then 7, it is 1, 2, 4, 7. So, it is 1, 2, 4 and 7. So that is G2 X2. Now we have to add F3 K2 minus X2 also. Okay. So this minus this 0 minus 0 is 0 and F3 at 0 is 0. Then 1 minus 0 is 1, K2 minus X2, 1 minus 0 is 1 and F3 1, F3 at 1 is 3. Then 2 minus 0 is 2 and F3 at 2 is 4. Okay. So we have to add 0, then 3, then 4, then 4, then 6. Again here it is 1 minus 1 is 0. Then F3 at 0 and F3 at 0 is 0. It is 2 minus 1 is 1 and F3 at 1 is 3. So it is 3. So it is plus 0 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4. Again it is 0 plus 3 plus 4. Again it is 0 plus 3. Again it is 0. And what will be F2 K2? So maximum of all this, maximum here is only one entry. So maximum is 0 at X2 bar. At which X2? At X2 0. Here the maximum is 3. At which X2? At X2 equal to again 0. Here maximum is 4, it is 4, it is 4. So maximum is 4. At which X2? 0 and 1. Here it is 4, 5, 5, 4. So 5 is maximum. And 5 maximum we are getting at this point, it is 1 and 2. So it is 1 and 2. Here we are getting maximum as 7. So 7 we are obtaining at 3 and 4. So this is a maximum output, this is a maximum output what we are obtaining in stage 2. That means if we allocate the entire money for C and A only, so the maximum output will be 7 units. That means if plant B is excluded, okay. If we exclude the plant B and spend the entire unit of capital on C and A only, so the maximum output will be 7 units at X2 equal to 3 or 4. Okay. Now for C, A and B, we will make the last stage with stage 1. And how can we do that? Stage 1. Again we can formulate a problem. It is F1 X1 which is maximum of, it is G1 X1 plus F2 K1 minus X1. Whatever available up to that stage minus X1 will give C and A, that is up to stage 2. Okay. So this is the last stage, or it is K1 X1, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, at 0 all values are 0. Now it is at B, it is for B. For B outputs are, returns are 3, 4, 5, 5. So it is 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay. So it is, these are G1 X1 and plus we have to do F2 K1 minus X1. So if it is 0 and if it is 0, so 0 minus 0 is 0. So F2 0, F2 when K2 is 0 is 0. So it is plus 0. Again when it is 1 minus 0, so F2 1, F2 at 1 is 3. Okay. So it is 3 plus 3. 2 minus 0 it is plus 4 again, plus 5 plus 7. It is 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So F2 1, it is F2 and K2 is 1, K2 is 1 here. Okay, 1 minus 1 is 0. So F2 is F2 0, F2 0 is 0. So it is plus 0, plus 3, plus 4 plus 5, again plus 0 plus 3 plus 4 plus 0 plus 3 plus 0. So, what will be F1 K1? F1 K1 maximum is 0 at which x1 bar? At x1 bar equal to 0, 0. This is 3 maximum at 0 and 1. Okay. Now, this is 4, 6, 4. So, 6 is maximum at 1. 5, 8, 8, 5. So, 8 is maximum at 1 and 2. And 7, 8, 8, 8. So, 8 is maximum at 1, 2, 3. So, if we spend 4 units of capital, okay, so the net output is 8 units. You can see 8. Okay, it is 8. It is 4 plus is 7. Okay, it is 7. Okay, at 1 and 2. Okay, so the net output, the maximum return. So F1 K1, which is the maximum return, will be 8 units. And what is the allocation? That is on which plant how much money is to spend. So for that, so we have the solution, optimal solution is S1 bar equals to 1, 2 or 3. Okay. Suppose S1 is 1. If x1 is 1, so K2 will be K1 minus x1, and K1 is 4 because 4 units of capital is available, and x1 is 1, so it is minus 1, it is 3. When K2 is 3, x2 is 1 or 2. So this implies x2 bar is 1 or 2. Okay. So for x2 equal to 1, for x2 bar equals to 1, K3 will be K2 minus x2, and K2 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2, and when K3 is 2, x3 is 2. So x3 is, this implies x3 is 2. Okay, this is the one solution. X1 1, x1 is for plant B, x2 is for plant A, and x3 is for plant C. Okay. Similarly, we can find for x2 equal to 2 also, and similarly we can find when x1 is 1, 2 or 3. Okay. So this is how we can find out the optimal solutions of such type of problems. Now we have other parts also, the second best allocation. Now in this row, this is 8, and after 8 we have 7 units, which is second best. So second best allocation is 7 units. Okay, that means the second maximum return is of 7 units. And what is the optimal value, optimal solution? What is the allocation? Allocation is this 7, that means x1 bar is 0. Okay, that means x1 bar is 0 for second best allocation. So x1 bar is, so second best, for second best allocation, return is 7 units maximum return, and for that x1 bar is 0. Okay. Again we find K2, which is K1 minus x1, and K1 is 4 minus x1 is 0, which is 4. And from the stage 2, as we can already see in the table, from stage 2, when x2 is 4, x2 is 3 or 4. Okay. So from there x2 bar is 3 or 4. Again we will find solution from this or this. Okay. So that will be the second best allocation. Now third part of the problem is the best allocation if only 3 units of capital is available. So, if only 3 units of capital is available, this means you simply delete this row and this column, because you are having only 3 units of capital. Okay. Now, if you delete this row and this column, so the return is 7 units, which we obtain when x1 bar is 1 and 2, and now k1 is 3, because only 3 units of capital available. So, we will use the same algorithm, same steps to find out the optimal solution. Okay. Now, the next is the best allocation if plant B is excluded. For if plant B is excluded, so you have to delete stage 1. Stage 2 will give the maximum return, because now you have 2 plants C and A. So, stage 2 includes C and A both. So, you simply exclude stage 3 up to stage 2, that will give the optimal solution. Okay, if plant B is excluded. So, this stage will give the optimal return if plant B is excluded, and that is 7 units, and x2 bar is 3 and 4. So, we can find the optimal solution when x2 is 3 or 4. So, this has been discussed in over here. Okay. Now, we have one more problem based on this. Let us quickly see how can we solve this problem on the same lines. A student has to take an examination in 3 courses: mathematics, circuit theory and principal management. Okay. He has 3 days available for study. He feels that it would be better to devote a whole day to study of the same course, so that he may study a course for 1 day, 2 days or 3 days, or not at all. So, he has decided to study one course for entire 1 day, or 2 days or 3 days, or not at all. That means it is either 0, 1, 2 or 3. His estimates of grades he may get according to a study of days of study he puts in are as follows. Suppose he gives 0 days study, I mean no time, no day for mathematics. So, he will earn 2 credits in mathematics, similarly 2 in circuit theory and 4 in management. Suppose he give 2 days in mathematics only, the entire 2 days in mathematics. So, he will earn 6 units of credit in mathematics, 6 units of 6 credits in circuit theory, and 6 units in principal management. If the entire 2 days devoted in mathematics only, then 6. If the entire 2 days devoted in circuit theory, then 6. And similarly, we have the entire table. Now, how should he plan a study to maximize the total grade points? How he should plan his 3 days so that the total credit become maximum. So, how we will do that? So, this is again a discrete optimization problem that we will use dynamic programming approach. So, how we do that? We suppose that y1, y2 and y3 are the days to mathematics, circuit theory and principal management. Yi, fi, yi be the denote the return function correspond to decision variable yi. So, the problem will be maximizing f1 y1 plus f2 y2 plus f3 y3 subject to y1 plus y2 plus y3 less than equal to 3, where y1 yi may be 0, 1, 2 or 3. So, the stage variable here are j, which is 1, 2 or 3. Y1 denote number of days devoted to maths, Y2 denote number of days devoted to circuit theory, Y3 number of days devoted to principal management, like this. Say the same problem as we discussed for this, like in plant A, plant B and plant C. Here we have maths, circuit theory and principal management. Okay. Fi yj is the return function of decision variable, and fj xkj total credits obtained from stage j. So, again we start from stage 3, go to stage 1 following the same lines as we did in the last example. We will obtain that the optimal, the maximum credits is 16 units, and that can be obtained if y1 bar is 1, 2 or 3. Okay. So that is maximum grade point is 16 unit. Tracking back, we get the optimal solution as for y1 equal to 1, we get back y2 equal to 1 and y3 equal to 1. If y1 equal to 2, then we get y2 equal to 1 and y3 equal to 0, and for y1 equal to 3, y2 equal to 0 and y3 equal to 0. So these are the three optimal solution for which grade point, maximum grade point is 16 units. Okay, you can see from table also. For example, the first solution, it is 1 1 1. Okay, if you see the table and see 1 1 1, now 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 3 days. Okay, 1 day for mathematics, 1 day for circuit theory, 1 day for principal management, that is 6 plus 6 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, which is maximum output. Again, the second optimal solution is 2 1 0, 2 days for mathematics, 1 for circuit theory and 0 days for principal management. So if 2 days for mathematics, 2 days for mathematics, that is 6. Okay, 1 day for here, it is 6, 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16. Okay, so in this way, if you plan his study in this way, he will get the maximum credits. Okay, so in this way we can solve some problems, some discrete optimization problem using dynamic programming approach. So thank you very much.